All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild. It's a theory from a figure known as Kukulkan, and it suggests that everything feeling off right now, from our broken political systems to science hitting a dead end, isn't a coincidence. Nope, it's all part of one massive cosmic event, a planetary recalibration. We're going to follow this idea from a legitimacy crisis right here on Earth, all the way out to the very nature of consciousness itself.
So here's how we're going to break this down. Think of it as a 5-act play. We're starting with a problem we all feel, this crisis of legitimacy. And we're going to follow that thread all the way to a pretty mind-blowing conclusion about our place in the cosmos.
Okay, first up, the crisis of legitimacy. The theory really kicks off with this feeling that I think a lot of us can relate to, that the systems running our world, politics, finance, the whole shebang, they just feel fundamentally broken. Like they're losing their right to rule.
And this is the question at the heart of it all. Why does the system feel so broken? Why do the institutions that are supposed to serve us feel so totally disconnected from our day-to-day lives? According to this theory, that feeling of alienation, that's not just in your head. It's a massive red flag that the whole system has gone off the rail.
And check this out. The theory points to a confession, of all places, from the absolute heart of the global financial system. This is Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, basically saying, hey, the public no longer accepts abstraction as compensation for exclusion. In other words, the old excuses, the fancy charts of GDP numbers, they just don't cut it anymore when people feel left out. And this slide really nails that shift Fink was talking about. You've got the old way of thinking on one side. Growth is everything. Just throw out some big macro statistics like GDP and hope for the best. But now, the new paradigm is all about legitimacy. It's about trust. It's about delivering real, tangible benefits. The big question has totally changed. It's not, is it growing? It's, do people even believe in this thing anymore?
Now, what's really important to get here is that Fink's warning at Davos, this wasn't about ethics or doing the right thing. It was about pure survival. He's saying, look, for most people, life is getting harder. Prosperity is getting sucked up to the very top. And AI? That could be the final test. If it just makes inequality worse, capitalism itself is going to fail. The days of the elites just lecturing everyone are over. If they can't regain trust, the whole system collapses.
So, this crisis of legitimacy, it isn't just happening in boardrooms and government buildings. The theory argues it goes way, way deeper. It's actually challenging the very foundation of how we see the world. And that brings us to science.
And this quote just hits it perfectly. It's from Federico Faggin. Get this, the guy who invented the microprocessor. He's the one saying that modern science, with its focus on materialism and reductionism, has hit a wall. It just can't explain the stuff that actually matters to us as humans, things like consciousness, free will, or, meaning.
And that's the core problem, right? Reductionism. For centuries, the name of the game in science has been to break everything down. To understand a car, you take apart the engine. To understand life, you look at cells, then molecules, then atoms. You're trying to build the whole picture from a pile of dead, separate parts.
But what if that's completely backwards? This theory suggests a total reversal. Forget starting from the little pieces. What if we have to start from the whole? From a single unified living consciousness that everything else, all the little parts, actually comes from? Okay, so if the old systems are broken and science is at a dead end, what's going to power this big shift? Well, this is where the theory gets, let's just say, really interesting. It introduces what it calls the bioengine of this whole planetary recalibration. So, according to Kukulkan, we need to rethink DMT entirely. It's not a drug. It's more like a planetary carrier wave. Think of it like a biological Wi-Fi signal for Earth, driven by some kind of non-human intelligence. And this signal, it's what allows us to tap into our true divine selves.
So how does this planetary network even work? The theory suggests that our peak life experiences, they're like data uploads. Take births, for example. Every single minute, there are about 260 births happening around the world. Each one of those moments, according to this, sends a pulse of life, a packet of data, into this giant system. And it's the same being on the other side of life. About 1,100 deaths happen every minute, too. These incredibly powerful moments, birth, death, even deep sleep, they're all framed as raw data being constantly streamed to a higher cosmic intelligence in a place this theory calls the aniverse. It's like a constant upload to a universal cloud.
All right, so this whole cosmic data stream thing, it brings everything right down to you and me, to the individual. It frames this as a hero's journey, and it puts a fundamental choice right in front of us. And here's the choice.
Are you just passive nectar for the system? Are you just unconscious fuel with your life experiences being harvested without you even knowing it? Or do you wake up? Do you become a conscious co-creator, an active operator inside the system?
So the theory lays out a clear path to becoming an operator. Step 1 is all about purity. That means avoiding all the external stuff, drugs, alcohol, that it claims have programmed your mind and are blocking the signal. Step 2 is alignment, syncing up with the sun's natural rhythms. And then the final step is access. You can get there through meditation, breath work, or, in a much more intense guided way, through something like a Bufo ceremony to achieve what's called ego death.
And this whole ego death thing isn't just some abstract concept. I mean, you have public figures talking about it. Mike Tyson, for example, described his experience with the toad as a total rebirth. Joe Rogan has talked openly about communicating with entities during these experiences. The key idea here is dissolving that little me, the ego, so you can connect with that much bigger universal self.
So this whole journey from a broken system on Earth, past the walls of science, and through this deeply personal choice, it's all leading to one final destination. The theory calls it the return to the source.
Now, in this worldview, our sun isn't just a big ball of fire in the sky. It's a multi-dimensional stargate, a direct portal, and it's the pathway straight to the heart of the multiverse, to a central point the Mayans called Hanub-Ku, the source of everything.
And when you follow that path, it leads to the ultimate realization. Divinity isn't out there somewhere. You don't need a middleman. You don't need a pope or any institution telling you what to believe. You realize, I am the source. You understand that you are the divine consciousness creating your own reality. And that, right there, brings the whole theory full circle. This journey isn't about escaping our world. It's about finding a whole new way to live in it. It suggests our future is this wild convergence of high technology, like AI, and this incredibly deep spiritual understanding of a universe that's finally waking up to what it really is. So after all that, from global finance to cosmic consciousness, this whole theory really boils down to one last, very personal question. The system is recalibrating. The planet is recalibrating. So, are you?